No, like I've been ripping and running all day. Like you know how they say, you understand ripping and running when you get older. What
Mm-hmm.
that really means, trust me. Today I understood it. I overstood it. I'll say. I like to put it. I overstood it. But yeah. Good evening. Good afternoon. Hello. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Have you
What's up,
choose to
y'all?
get by
What's up, gang members?
Keyz Jermaine presenting episode 20 of Sucio Sportz, presented by Jail Blasters. Up there in the corner.
We're almost 21, guys. We almost can
Yeah,
legally drink on here.
we almost can legally drink, but you know what?
Not like we ain't been doing it anyway.
I'm gonna illegally drink anyway. Underage drinking.
Actually, I've been on my I've been in my bad bitch era.
Oh, really?
Been drinking mimosa. Mimosa.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my
Yo,
bad bitch era. You know,
that looks
I got
pretty
this from
good, bro.
Audi. Actually, it
Oh,
is.
really?
It's mango mimosa. Yeah.
Bro, like it be sometimes like I used to like to sip on, like especially if I'm cooking, because like when I'm in the middle of cooking, I don't like to drink nothing too heavy. I like to sip on something I can, just kind of sip and keep moving or whatever. It used to be
Right.
these the little margaritas you could buy like in the grocery store or whatever. HEB used to have
Okay.
them. That's why I just picked them up, because HEB definitely needs to be a sponsor on the network. But they would have them sometimes on sale. It would be that, or I love when Jack Daniels has the little punches, the Jack and Cola or whatever. Now,
Yeah.
Crown Royal has theirs, and I'm gonna be honest. The first batch,
I like them. I like them.
the, the only thing I really liked was the Crown and Cola. I didn't like the other flavors. Max is not happy right now.
The crown. The the Crown and Coke is my favorite one. Crown and Coke is definitely my favorite one. What's your favorite drink? In the chat, those that are there, let us know
Come here,
what you like to sip
come here.
on while you.
The pod so damn bad. Come here. You want to be on the pod or what? Come on, come on. This dude, he act like he want to be on the pod. He just want to be nosy. That's all. He done came
He
here
want
and
to
ran off.
be
He
he
just
want to
want
be
to see
heard,
what's
not seen.
going on. Yeah, he hear you, so he like, okay, what's going on? And he done walked out the room. Like, this guy interrupted the whole flow of the show for nothing, just to be like, I don't want to be here. But anyway, um, nah, it's funny. Like, would be happening sometimes. Like, it was funny. Like, just this past week, this weekend, and everything. Like, you said you was tired. I was feeling tired, and I was just like, oh man. I said, well, look, my daughter had her senior night for the basketball team or whatever last night, and I was like, well, we can't do tonight. It's out the question. Like, all right, let's do
Right.
Wednesday. All right, we'll do Wednesday. And then we look. Oh wait, it's Valentine's Day. We
I got fussed
was
at.
like, whoops.
Severely
But
fussed at.
exactly, we're gonna keep it short and light and sweet. But because it is Valentine's Day, I have the perfect and I mean perfect intro song. Perfect.
think that I wasn't fine enough, and I used to think that I
YouTube,
wasn't
chill out
wild
because we take this from your
enough.
website.
But I won't waste my time trying to figure out why you playing games. What's this all about? And I can't believe you hurting me. I met your girl, what a difference. What you see in her, you ain't seen in me. But I guess it was all just make believe. Oh, love, never knew what I was missing, but I knew once we start kissing, I found love. Never knew what I was missing, but I knew once we start kissing, I found you. Now you gone, what am I gonna
Hey man, the
That's
video
my
of
that's
them
my
kids,
that's my jam right there, boy.
bruh, the video of the kids singing this is dope. I love it. People was like, these kids too young. They weren't even born when this song. Man, who cares if they were? A lot of them kids was probably made to that song.
Probably
Leave them
was.
be. Leave them be. Let them sing it. Let them sing it. Let them have that, man. Leave them kids alone. But yeah, we, you know what I'm saying? We my mama
Oh
trying to
man,
call me.
that's
I just told my mama, like, Ma, I got something I gotta do right now. Why are you trying to call me right now? Like, my freaking bruh, like she's like the definition of like how some of my radio friends say they'll be on air and people know they have their show going and they'll still call them or text them or hey, I gotta ask you something right quick. Like, bro, don't you know I'm on the radio right now? That's my mom.
Hey, what you thought I was going to answer you on here?
I literally just got off the phone with you and told you I was about to be in the middle of doing something. I said that. I know I did. And if I didn't, I meant to say and I forgot, but I know like I've told her this before. But I just had to answer with the response to text. So she got it. But yeah, man, like so
how was your
the
weekend
Super
though?
Bowl, like it was cool because I got to cook some stuff that I had wanted to cook, and then somebody requested something different. So I ended up cooking a couple different things. And then we sat there and watched the game, me and my daughter. Just daddy-daughter time, hanging out watching the game and stuff. And
That's dope.
it was
That's dope.
it was cool until halftime when she turned it up when Usher got on the stage. And then I was like, can we turn the volume back down? Like it's like I get it. I was jamming with you for most of the halftime show, but like we bring it back down a little bit.
Turn into an old nigga real quick.
Bruh, like
Just a little bit.
real
Just a
quick.
little bit.
Real quick. I was like, okay, you got it on like, can we put it on 40 something? It's on 60 something. Can we at least put it on 40 something? Like, let's bring it down a little bit. But yeah, man, we hung out and had a good time and stuff, and just was chilling and eating, and you know what I'm saying, bruh. I hit on, I would say, probably one of the craziest prop bets I think I can remember hitting on ever. So last week, I believe it was, we came on the show and we were just going over some of the Super Bowl prop bets, right? And one of them that we came across was because Andy Reid likes his burgers, especially after yeah. They said, what burger or what place would Andy Reid visit if they won or whatever, right? And so, you got the usual suspects like Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King on there, right? Then you got like the lesser knowns or the next runners up or what have you. You had like Five Guys and this other stuff. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, nah, I think In and Out because they're in Vegas. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, they're in Vegas. I put $5 on it. I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's worth $5. Just whatever. $5. No big deal. Looked up Monday morning. Like, wait a minute. There's a little bit more money in the account than I thought was in there. Because I'm looking to see, because I knew I hit on at least one or two, right? I was like, wait a minute. I checked this last night and this wasn't the balance. How did I get, like, I'm not tripping about having more money. I'm just trying to figure out where did it come from? Because I know it wasn't deposited off my card. Bro, when I looked and I saw Andy Reid In and Out, I was like, whoa, are you serious? And then wager won. I was like, hey, no, man, I ain't bet more on it. But yeah, that wager on where he would eat his burger after the game, that hit on In and Out. And it was simply because I'm like, he's not going to go to Burger King, McDonald's, or Wendy's, not the usual suspects. What's up, Dre? Whataburger had literally like just opened, I want to say, on the strip for the very first time, like that same last week. So I don't even think they were on there under consideration. There was a couple other ones, and I don't know. In and Out just kind of stuck out to me because it's typically like a West Coast kind of thing. So that was kind of cool to hit on that prop bet. But I know another prop bet that was in shambles after the Super Bowl was the color of the Gatorade dunked on the winning coach. It was like a purple kind of color from what I can remember. But I want to say maybe there was some discrepancy as to was it blue or was it purple or blah 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 blah. But I know that was something that was kind of under some consideration or whatever right there. I think you
I'm
muted.
talking and I'm muted. That's crazy. It was kind of like a blurple.
Yes. That's basically exactly what it was. It was because it was like this weird kind of, it almost looked like kind of gray or black or something at some points, but it was kind of weird. Trey asked, how do we feel about Kelsey barking at Andy Reid? I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't really care, to be
It's
honest
football.
with you. Shit like that is bound to happen, especially when you're competing. Yeah, you're in the heat of the moment. You're in the prime of your career. You're competing for a Super Bowl on the biggest stage. There's a lot of pressure there. Yes, it's your third one, and you're trying, or fourth appearance, and you're trying to win your third one. But just you can't expect the guy not to get out of hand, especially when the guy who they subbed him out for not only gave up the block to get the tackle, but he also gave up the swim move that caused the fumble that the 49ers end up recovering. So it's like,
and at that point that he fussed at him, also, Kelsey won't get in the ball. That was the whole thing too.
yeah,
At that point that he fussed at him, he only had one catch for what, 1 yard?
one young,
I think
yeah,
it was one catch, 1 yard. That was it.
yeah,
So that was
yeah.
his frustration before everything else was,
Mm-hmm.
get me the ball if y'all want to win. And then after that, they got on the ball and they won. So,
Yeah, and
I mean,
Kelsey's
that's
not
all it
the
was. It's heat of the moment, man. Kelsey knows he's the
yeah,
best. He's the best player on their offense. Get me going,
right.
and we're gonna the offense moves through with and through me. So I
Right.
ain't mad at it at all.
And the thing
I love his
is like
passion.
Kelsey isn't one of those he isn't one of those kind of guys where like he could have fussed at him at any point in time about not getting the ball. To me, the timing of him and what he did and bumping into him and yelling at him like that after the fumble lets you know all you need to know about his passion at that point in winning the game, because most people will just look at this guy yelling at his coach. He bumped his coach. He's all in his face. That's not a good look. No, it's not a good look. But when we break it down Barney style and look at it, it's in the confines of football. Number one, a
Yep.
very aggressive, hard-nosed sport. Number two, we're on the biggest stage possible, like literally and figuratively. Like you're at the pinnacle of your profession, and this is the most watched television program that's going to happen all year long. So you're literally at the pinnacle of your profession and everybody's watching. You're competitive. Yes, you're going to be pissed. I believe Kelsey's going to be 35 going into the next year. So he probably doesn't know at that point how many years or how many opportunities left he has at being on this stage. So yeah, he's going to feel some type of way about being taken out of the game in a crucial moment and then something like that happening.
Exactly. Exactly. So, like I said, I love it. It works out. It worked out for them in the end.
Yeah, they ended up winning, and people were saying all kinds of stuff, and I know we had talked about like it's cool with the Taylor Swift thing with some of the girl dads and stuff like that. It connects them and everything, but I defended the girl dads in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, I got a homegirl. Matter of fact, Keyz. I'll leave it Keyz. Her two little girls are Swifties. She said, so she knows this. She doesn't want to know this. She doesn't like it, but it's like my kids like it. I got another homeboy. His daughter loves Taylor Swift. Like he knows the words. Took it to the concert. Everything. And he like,
I want
bruh,
better for these children.
like she wasn't even on the screen for a minute, and it annoyed me. And I was just
I
like,
want
hey,
better
bro,
for
you
these
gotta
children.
roll with it. You gotta roll with it. Gotta roll with it.
No,
You
sir.
know?
I want better for these children. I want better for them. They need better role models. Weird ass white lady. The hell?
Hey man,
No,
look,
no,
look,
no,
look.
no. Matter of fact, I think
Some
we're
of
talking
these,
about her.
it's sometimes
Mm.
it's almost like it's like you gotta take a hit in order to take one step back, take two steps forward. And it's like sometimes you gotta give in to some things. And it's like as a parent, it's like you be like, man, you like this? This is what you like this? Ah, whatever. I ain't had to worry about that. My daughter was like, she was frowning. My enjoyment came the 45 seconds to a minute or so she was on screen, like messing with my daughter about it. That gave me joy in that moment because she didn't like it.
She was
And
turned
I
up, chugging beer, having fun. That's
her
nice.
little
Like a
homie
regular,
Ice was with her.
like a fan. She
Yeah,
was a fan. Like
yeah.
I'm tripping because what makes her so different than any other player, girlfriend, wife, whatever? She's not even. She's a player girlfriend. She ain't even player fiance, wife, cause she's Taylor Swift.
I put it to you like this.
Boy, don't nobody care about that white woman.
Taylor Swift is the white people's Beyonce. That's why. So
Like,
if you
I don't like her either.
translate it like this, if let's just say if Beyonce was dating Lamar Jackson, right? If Beyonce was dating like uh CJ Stroud or Jettas. Let's say Beyonce was dating Jettas, right? People will go nuts over this. Like they would literally be trying to smell her farts or something to say, "Oh, she farts purple because Jettas plays for the Vikings." Like that's how crazy people would be over Beyonce if she was dating or married to somebody, a high profile athlete. That's why everybody goes crazy for her because that's what she is to them. And it's like she got this crazy crossover appeal. And one of the things that little bit of off sports topic that I was talking about today, if the story is true, and we don't know if it's true or not, but it's been reported that she got Kanye kicked out because he bought tickets and sat in front of her or something like that. If that is
As he
true,
should have.
it's ironic that she would have a problem with him being pictured, photographed, video, whatever, or whatever, sitting by her when he played a large part in her success and her fame taking off the way it did. Now, whether you can argue one way or the other or not, that moment, and to be honest with you, everybody agreed with Kanye. A lot of people agree with Kanye. He was right in saying what he said. He just went about it the wrong way. You know, that wasn't very polite or nice to go up on stage in that moment and say that. I'm pretty sure Kanye would have had a moment where he could have said that and would have had the same effect. But by going up there, bogarting the time and making her into some sort of martyr, basically, it upped her stock. And
It
it
really
made people
did.
sorry for her.
Because that was
And
around the time people started hating Kanye too.
right. And that was around the time, like, it wasn't long after his mom died, and that's when he really like went off the deep end and stuff. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. But like you said, that's right. That's around the time people stopped really liking him, and so it's just ironic that if that story is true, it hasn't been confirmed, corroborated, or nothing like that. The first like somewhat reputable sports source that I saw that's posted something about it was Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio's website, and they put something out there to the effect of, Brandon Marshall said this. If this really did happen, then blah 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 blah. Like just kind of speculating, that this was said, and if it did happen, this is what this looks like or means, what have you. But anyway, the Super Bowl, it was a great game. I want people to not be prisoners of the moment and crown this the greatest Super Bowl ever. Let's calm down and relax a little bit. Because there's other games that I remember seeing 49ers and the Bengals in the Superdome, as a matter of fact, when I was a kid. Um, Hell, the Patriots when they came back against the Falcons.
Ooh, 28-3.
The Patriots Eagles Super Bowl. Shit. I mean, there's been a bunch of them like that I can remember that I enjoyed those games more than I enjoyed this one. Now, this one was a great game. Don't get me wrong. It had a lot of drama, suspense, the back and forth. But to me, I wouldn't crown it as this is head and shoulders above everything else. This was the greatest Super Bowl ever played. It was a great game. Maybe if you want to put it in your top 5, I could see that. However, I can't give it the one above everything else. I can't do that.
Yeah, it was a great game just because of the back and forth, the overtime, once it was set in stone. Real good game. I don't know. I gotta sit back and think as far as like where it ranks.
Mm-hmm.
I off the top of my head, I really can't think where it ranks right now, but it was a great game. I hate who won, but
Yeah. But the Chiefs did have their parade today, and a bit of somber news as there was an active shooter. One person was dead, and 21 others were wounded. Um, just not really gonna highlight the negativity and all of that or whatever, or their motives and what have you. It's just like people are feeling more bold about doing stuff like this. And to me, the way you lessen people feeling bold about doing stuff like this is making sure whenever there is a jackass who's bold enough to try it, that they get dealt with swiftly and quickly. And I mean, hey, if that involves, them getting blasted 37 times or whatever, you shouldn't be out in public trying to kill innocent people. That's on you. But yeah, so just thoughts and prayers with those up in Kansas City that were at the parade that had to experience that, especially those who lost lives and were wounded and whatnot. Um, just a tragic thing and such a, I mean, what should be like a great moment for them. Their third Super Bowl win in the last 5 years. Um, I mean, just something that you would think that would be just a watershed moment, like something to bring the community together, and you have something like this to distract everyone from it. But good to see that there were some other innocent bystanders that actually help apprehend the shooter or whatever. But overall, it seemed like everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl in Vegas. One of the things that I did hear complaints about was, I believe the media hotel was at the Luxor, which is the greatest. Another thing was some people said that stuff was just way so over the top. It was like a little bit too much in some instances. And of course, with the Super Bowl, you're going to get price gouging, but the Super Bowl in Vegas, you got some insane price gouging. One of the things that was kind of price gouged a bit was I looked it up. A coworker of mine, we talking and like through his broken English and my broken Spanish, we communicating and everything, and we trying to find out what the tickets look like. Just fooling around, bro. The cheapest ticket we could find was like $6,500.
That's crazy.
That was the absolute bottom barrel price you could get in the building was $6,500 when we looked at it that morning. And I was floored. And you had of course you had the story of what's his name? Christian McCaffrey's mom saying that they're not gonna get a suite because it's like 2.5 million. And I mean just insane stuff like that. Like just there was another video, I think it was on TikTok maybe. But I saw it making its rounds. Somebody bought a water and a soda, I believe it was. Just a water and a soda. And I want to say the total was like $26 or $32 or something like that. Just for a water and a soda. And I just I'm like,
And it's like you have to spend the money when you're there, because if not, you're there for a very long time. A very long time. So you're gonna starve, you're gonna dehydrate, all of that. So it's like you gotta spend the money on these things. Sport events can be expensive. They could definitely be very, very expensive.
bro, it's gotten to the point where like you'll see the ticket package deals, right? It'll be like you get the tickets, a drink and like a hot dog or soda, popcorn, whatever it is. Like you get ticket, drink, and something to eat, a snack or whatever. And you used to see those, start off like, let's say the buddy pass thing, it start off like $30, $40 or whatever. And you getting, a beer, a popcorn or whatever in a ticket for two people. 30, 40, man, that now I want to say the cheapest you can get out the door is like 80 or so. It's like between 60 and 80. It almost doubled from what it used to be for the cheap, nosebleed tickets for it. But just seeing the way prices have gone up steadily for things at sporting events and stuff like that. And then the other thing that you can compare it to is like when you have food from outside that's getting served inside. Like let's say you have a Chick-fil-A or something like that, right? And you go in the stadium and that chicken sandwich is $10 by itself. But you go to Chick-fil-A and you can get the whole chicken sandwich combo with the fries and the drink for the $10. That's showing you like, okay, this is the difference in what I'm paying just because I'm inside these, this stadium or this venue or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's gotten.
So
It's
I will
gotten.
say. So I'll say. I went back and listened to our preseason pod,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wrong. Clearly,
I
I was clearly wrong. I literally said that the Chiefs had the hardest road, and I ain't gonna say they didn't. I honestly
Yeah.
still believe they very well had the hardest road back to the Super Bowl between them and the Eagles. Like their road was super hard. They beat tough teams. They beat a tough Miami team that was top. They beat a
Mm-hmm.
tough Bills team that was above them, and they
Mm-hmm.
also beat a really tough number one in the AFC Ravens
Great.
team to get back to the Super Bowl. So
Yes.
it's not like they definitely did not have an easy road at all. So that part I was right about, but I was wrong because
Mm-hmm.
I figured one of them other teams was gonna get there, not them. I did not see
Right.
the Chiefs being back in that position to even contend for a Super Bowl. And somehow it's the quarterback, man. Pat Mahomes is the new Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He very well is. Like as long as he's on that field, that team has a chance. And I hate to say that, but excuse me, he very well if he's laced up in his cleats on that grass, he's gonna win. Or he's gonna give you one hell of a fight.
I put it to you like this, and I know I compare Brady and Mahomes to like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. But in actuality, it's really a comparison between John Cena and Roman Reigns when you think about it.
Yeah.
Uh, because you have a guy who's got the unquestioned record of, most title reigns. He's tied with Flair, but still, it's like you look at John Cena and what he did in the era he did it in. It's just as, if not more, impressive. Um, and then you look at Pat Mahomes coming up, and their careers kind of cross paths. And Brady had to beat Mahomes for his last one, but then the year before, Mahomes had to beat Brady to get to one of his first. And then the following year, Brady had to beat Mahomes for his last. And then it's like, okay, now they've overlapped. We see 1-1, and then it's, okay. But the torch has been passed because this guy obviously got old and he retired, and it's like, okay, I'm done. But you still have this other guy who's like, I've done so much this early in my career, and I still have this much further to go before I get to the point where you are, to where now he's put himself in the argument of, can he get to that level? Can he put himself in that argument with Brady for greatest of all time? And my personal opinion, I think he's not even 30 yet. I believe he's 28. With 4 appearances and 3 wins already, he's clearly on that path. Clearly on that path because he has at least, at bare minimum, 5 to 10 more years of quality level of football left in it. Just depending on injuries, style of play, and what they keep around him and whatnot. But I will safely say he has at least a good 5 years left at all pro level of football left in him before he even starts to decline. 5 to 10. So I don't know, man. We'll see, but I definitely think he's put himself in a position to say if he can continue to do X, Y, and Z. He's done enough at this young stage of his career to say, like, yes, if he keeps going the way he's going, he can definitely be in that conversation of, comparing himself to Brady, fairly and justly, and also overtaking Brady unquestionably. But I would say he has to get in at least the 5 rings range. Bare minimum, he has to have at least 5.
But again, looking at his age, he very well may can get 2 more easily.
That's why I say I think he's really put himself in position to be put in that argument.
And he's already restructuring his contract this year to bring in more people to save money on his side. So that way they can get these rings out the way. And I respect that. I respect any quarterback that does that because quarterbacks are one of, if not the highest paid position in football. It teeters between them and the O-line a lot of times. Sometimes a D lineman to slip in there and get them a nice little bag, but for the most part, it's usually quarterback.
Quarterbacks are especially with the last few extensions, their AAV is above and away, like above everybody else. They're in like the 50 to 55, the 45 to 55 range, roughly. Whereas I think the highest paid wide receiver is still Tyreek at 30.
I believe so.
I want to say there was a couple of linemen that got roughly around the 20 to 25 range, offensive linemen. And I want to say the defensive linemen are approaching 30. I want to say Bosa, one of the Bosa boys or Myles Garrett is in around like 27 or so. So that's where like the annual average value of their contract kind of falls. Guaranteed money. The quarterbacks lead in everything. Like they've been put on such a pedestal because of the importance of their position. And then also with the way the game has shifted, it's now put more emphasis on the quarterback position, which in turn has put more emphasis on offensive linemen, especially left tackles, if for right-handed quarterbacks, right tackles for lefties, to protect their blind side, pass rushers for getting to those quarterbacks, and these good cover corners and versatile other defenders to cover all of these receivers that these offenses are throwing out there. But man, I've enjoyed the way Mahomes' career has gone so far. I really appreciate what he do. I love the way he's willing to restructure his contract in order to make sure guys like Chris Jones and Travis Kelce and so on and so forth can stick around. I also love the way the 49ers have continued to reload and retool themselves as well, because just 4 years ago, these same two teams met in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And they don't really look the same way they did 4 years ago.
Not at all.
Neither one does. Both teams have lost not only players, but also coaches and front office personnel. And the Kansas City Chiefs have managed to pretty much stay in that upper echelon while the 49ers have kind of fluctuated and brought themselves back. But what I will give both teams props on is being able to weather the storm of losing players, personnel, and especially in the 49ers case, you changed quarterbacks and you went from, a high-profile free agent acquisition to literally Mr. Irrelevant in the draft a couple years ago. And those are the guys that you end up making the Super Bowl with. So that kind of speaks to what they've been able to do as far as talent around those guys and Kyle Shanahan as a play caller.
Kyle Shanahan as a play caller.
getting to more of that, they ended up firing their defensive coordinator today, Steve Wilkes, after his first season on the job.
I'm not
You know,
shocked.
I kind of am, because when you look at that defense and what they were able to accomplish this year as a whole, he did a great job.
But when it counts,
You don't fire a guy just because he had a bad game when it counts. Because if we really want to get into it, Kyle Shanahan should have fired himself after the
you right.
last Super Bowl.
Yeah. Should have after the NFC Championship last year. If you
Kyle
want to, but
Shanahan should have fired himself several times in his career, I'll say.
I ain't gonna lie. After last year, I give him the leeway because of the quarterback play.
Uh-huh.
You're playing with a relative rookie, pretty much, and even this year, same thing. You're pretty much playing with a rookie. But you know how it goes. Somebody's got to be to blame, and the defense gave up way too much. Offense won't do it enough, but the defense gave up more than they gained. So I can understand Steve Wilkes being out.
I mean, it's the nature of the business, man. It is what it is. You need a scapegoat somewhere. And the
Yeah.
head coach ain't going nowhere. He ain't getting fired. They ain't getting rid of the quarterback because as cheap and replaceable as he is, look at how good he is.
Who?
Players under
Brock Purdy?
contract.
Purdy's good.
Bro, let's stop with all this BS about Purdy's not good, Purdy's not this, Purdy's not that. That team wouldn't be where they are if he didn't perform the way he performed this year. They wouldn't be. Like, you could look at me crazy and sideways all you want, but it's like, let's just be honest. Like,
Yeah, let's be honest.
that dude performed extremely well, and nobody wants to give him the credit for it. And
Extremely well.
it's killing me. It's killing me because look at how good he played, and nobody wants to give him no props. Like,
He's
it's like,
using. He said good, great, wow.
yeah. Because
Okay.
well, this is what I'm looking for right here. Here we go.
Hey man, I know you about to hit me with some numbers. It's okay, and that's cool. But no, that defense carried them all year.
The defense carried him all year.
And to your point that Steve Wilkes should not have been fired because of if you're looking at the entire season as a whole, yeah, Wilkes definitely shouldn't have been fired. Nah, but Brock Purdy ain't the answer. He good for now because they can use him for cheap. They can get what they
Mhm.
can. They can get what they can get out of him right now because they don't have to worry about going to find a quarterback yet and paying him a lot of money. You know what I mean? They probably got him on like a rookie deal for like what, maybe next year. I think next year might be the last year, and then they actually have to figure something out as far as do we pay him or do we look for what we've really been looking for and want? That's kind of the question at the end of next season.
Yeah, I
But Purdy,
just think
but Purdy ain't there.
I'm looking at, and this is why I say extremely well. Okay,
Jesus.
because the defense was ranked 8th, right, in yards per game. Can you tell me where their offense was ranked?
No, because I don't like him. No,
Second
I cannot
overall,
tell you.
behind the Dolphins, yards per game.
I believe it. Look at the weapons they got.
Okay.
He don't gotta be. It ain't about being extremely well. It's about making sure you put the ball where those weapons can catch the ball, whether it's a 5 yard, and they go
Mhm.
do the rest. You got to remember they do a lot of that. So a lot of it won't Purdy throwing downfield for 30, 40, 50 yards, nothing like that. It was him giving it to Debo 5 yards out and Debo doing the rest. It was him giving it to Ayuk 5 yards out, giving it to Kittle maybe 10 to 15, but usually same thing, 5 yards. is CMC moving the ball. So it was there's factors that play into that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if he's only giving you the ball within 5 yards and then you're going that yak is adding up, that's different.
Okay.
That's different. Purdy ain't the answer, man. You know, I ain't even a 49er fan, and I'll say it. Like, he's not the answer. He's not.
Because
He'll be a great backup.
okay. Because I'm looking at like their yards after the catch, and I'm just gonna compare the percentages of the yards after the catch to, like, let's say some other teams or something, so that way we could kind of put it in perspective and kind of have something to go on. So roughly about half of their yards came yards after the catch, right? That's 48, let's say 0.2%, because they had I believe it's like 2099, 2077 of their 4577 yards came after the catch. So if we look at this other team, oh wait, because I'm bad with math on the calculator, I can do it in my head. I'm looking at another team that's at 43.9% of their yards after the catch being the total for their. Can you guess what team that is?
The Chiefs.
Wrong. That's your Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, man, we lost. Why are we talking about us? We lost. They did too. But we ain't even get a chance to even smell like we lost. We sucked.
But I'm talking about the regular season, though.
Oh, we sucked during the regular season too.
Yeah, I'm just comparing it to the regular season, so that way I can get a better idea of like how
we were the king. I ain't gonna say king. We were the kings of the shuttle pass all season. That's what we'll be next year too.
I said San Francisco's yard out of the catch percentage was 48.2%, right? I'll give you a wild guess at what the Chiefs was.
Huh.
I'll give you a hint.
It was above 50?
Yep.
Figure that. Like 62.
61.1% of their passing yards came from Yak.
Okay.
61.1.
I was close.
So this is what I'm trying to say. Like we say Brock Purdy isn't this and Brock Purdy isn't that, and we try to make it seem like he's not that good, but we got to realize, like, he's the stuff that we're accusing him of. There's other guys out there who's doing it way more egregiously, and they don't get half of the criticism. So that's why I say, like, he performed very well in that system. He did very good. Yeah, he's a lot better than people give him credit for. And my only thing is like, I don't want to be one of those that just unnecessarily piles on him or anything like that. Is he great? No. But for what they need him to be, he's very, very good. And that system calls for you to be able to hit guys on the move, hit guys in windows and whatnot, and be accurate and decisive with the football. And he does exactly what they ask him to do, when and how they ask him to do it. Like, I don't know what else he's supposed to do, but they say, hey, this is your job, do it, and do it well. He's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go out there and do my job, do it well. That's what he did. So I just think that, and the sneaky thing about it is he can do more with his legs. He just doesn't, and
Not at all. He doesn't.
that's the one area I want to see him improve upon next year. I mean, with his passing and stuff, he's done pretty good. I've seen him throw into some really good windows and whatnot. One of my favorite windows he threw into, I believe, was, if it wasn't the Super Bowl, it was an NFC Championship game. It was a dig route where it was between the linebacker and the safety, and they were playing a zone. And I mean, to get that ball over the line, but over the two linebackers, because it was two guys that were underneath. I don't know if it was a nickel and a linebacker or what, but it was two defenders underneath. And there was one or two safeties over the top. And he placed it over the underneath guys, in front of the over the top guys, and right there in a perfect spot to his receiver to not only catch, but catch and turn up field where he wasn't getting, killed or anything. And he can make some yards after the catch. So just those type of things, like, I see him doing very well, but I want to see him do more with his legs. Just to make that next improvement, that next step in his game. If he can get that going, that'll open up a lot of the run pass option and read option stuff that Shanahan can pull out of his bag when you have a McCaffrey and you have a Debo and an Ayuk. And Elijah Mitchells and whatnot back there that can run the ball and whatnot. So when you add that to your game, you're adding to your bag, and you're just making yourself a lot more money when it comes time for an extension, which I think if San Francisco plays it smart, they'll keep Purdy. And I would try to offer him something like 3 years. The Geno Smith contract, matter of fact. 3 years, 105, and see what he, guarantee him like 60 and see what he says. Maybe something like 4 years, 140, and guarantee him like 80 and put front load a lot of that guarantee. Basically,
yeah, because I mean, he's gonna get paid for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he gonna get paid as a starter, or is he gonna get paid pretty good mediocrely to be a second string backup?
I think he's gonna get like that, like that new bottom tier starter money, which is like in the 30, 35, 40 range. I think he'll get something like that. But I don't expect him to like break the bank and be in that, 45 to 50 plus range, like the Joe Burrows and Justin Herberts and Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons and these guys are. I don't expect him to be that far and away above everybody. NBA trade deadline. Just to wrap up football real quick, it's funny how in February, in the beginning part of February, we get the Super Bowl, which marks the end of one season. And then at the very end of February, we get the NFL Scouting Combine, which basically starts or kind of kicks off in a way their off season.
The draft season. Draft.
Yeah. So we're headed right into that wheelhouse of that football purgatory between the Super Bowl and the Combine, where there's not much to talk about, report on, or anything else like that. But we still will have some content for y'all in the next couple of weeks until we get to the Combine, draft season, and all that good stuff. So don't worry, there still will be some good football talk from us next couple of weeks, okay? But the trade deadline in the NBA went down, and there were no superstars that traded hands. There were no like blockbuster trades that came out of nowhere. There were no DeJounte Murrays. There were no Zach LaVines. There were no LeBron Jameses. There were no Klay Thompsons. There were no who else was possibly rumored to be on the move, or teams called about, or what have you. There was none of that. You saw a few guys move here and there, and that's really about it. Uh,
Yeah, mostly you're gonna see that waiver wire like we saw
mhm.
with Dinwiddie signing with the Lakers. What's his name? Went to the 76ers today. Uh Kyle Lowry, sorry, drawing a blank. Man.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Kyle
yeah.
Lowry signing with the 76ers today. So you're gonna see a lot of people that's gonna get waived, and that waiver wire free agency is gonna move a little bit. But as
Hmm.
far as like the trade deadline, like you said, nothing major. A lot of teams did good. A lot of key trades to bring in some key people to not I don't want to say key people, but bring in some help um, to help with that second half push along going into the playoffs. So it's going to be super interesting to see how the rest of the NBA season goes. We got All Star coming up
Hmm.
this weekend. So this All Star is going to be super interesting this weekend, all 3 days. Um, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna
Like I
be
said,
good to see, man. I'm also the Raptors trading Dennis Schroeder to the Nets. Basically prompted them to waive Spencer Dinwiddie. Um, what you call it?
I think
Patrick
Spencer,
Beverly from the Sixers to the Bucks.
that was a dope trade because he's already been like him coming in early. He's already like player coaching it over there.
Hmm.
So he's gonna fit in well. I like Spencer Dinwiddie with that Laker offense because D'Lo can get his, but he's up and down. AD, LeBron, what you're gonna get out of them. But I think Spencer gives them that third consistent scoring option
Yep.
that they've been missing, and he's good on defense. Do I think it's enough to win the West? No. I think we still need two more big men, and I say it in the sense of like throwing bodies at because Denver is the team to beat.
Hmm.
Denver is the team to beat in the West. Everybody else is cool, but Denver's the team to beat. It's all about getting more height, adding bodies, and throwing those bodies uh shit, what is wrong with me today? Oh my god. Throwing bodies at Denver as far as getting that entire team
Oh
in
yeah.
foul trouble. So, and that's what everybody should be gearing towards. This is Denver has changed the game to where you have to be more big man heavy in the West than guard heavy because you have to get Jokic in foul trouble in order to damage them, in order to get them off their game. Jokic has to stay in foul trouble.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that teams in the West also need to be mindful of is not just gearing up to have big men to throw bodies and fouls at Jokic, but also have perimeter and wing defenders that are rangy enough to stick with guys like Michael Porter Jr., who's one of their X factors.
Hmm.
They also need to watch out for Jamal Murray, uh, who's a certified killer. So, and Porter Jr. has been stepping up and really, growing into his role. Uh, Aaron Gordon is still a very active, big body presence that they have. So the Nuggets are loaded, and you have to have answers for several different positions.
Now you really do, and there are at least two, possibly three men back on each position, to where they have a second unit that can come in and be starters. So um, definitely gonna be interesting to see how everything goes after All Star break. I'm interested in All Star weekend. This weekend is gonna be a lot of fun. Celebrity game Friday night, then the rookie sophomore G League pickup game Friday night. Saturday we go into the skills competition. All Star Saturday night is what everybody loves. 3-point contest, dunk contest is hopefully starts living up to what it used to be in the past with the dunk contest. So it's gonna be super interesting, super fun.
Yeah, I still get into it. I don't get as into it as I used to, but um it's funny because like I kind of gauge things sometimes as to how interested my kids are because they're, teens, young adults, whatever. And when my daughter she texted me Sunday, I had finished cooking early, because I woke up early, got everything done early, and I just ran to get me a snack on the other side of town. And 'cause I had to have some chicken crack. Like I was a fat ass on Sunday and drove 30 minutes just to get some chicken crackling and then damn near ate it on the way home before I even got back to the house. But anyway, um but like she texted me and she was like, "Hey, can you put the game on the big TV in the living room for me?" And I'm like, like, do I look like a manager or like a waitress or waiter or something at a sports bar? like, why can't you cut on the TV and just? It's like, all right, well, I guess that's her way of saying, "Hey, Dad, I want to watch the game with you." So I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." So I cut the game on and stuff, and we sitting there watching, and she sat through the whole game. You know what I'm saying? Like she
Mhm.
liked the commercials, halftime show, all of that. She loved the sport. But like when it comes to like All-Star weekend stuff, they used to be like, "Hey, let's watch this," or "Oh, let's get this to eat so we can watch this together." Oh, okay, cool. Now,
Excuse me.
like I don't even think they really be bothered with NBA All-Star weekend stuff like they used to.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the last couple years had I've been busy, like I've been doing something where to the point where
Mhm.
I honestly haven't even remembered that that it was All Star Saturday night. And usually that Sunday, I'm pretty I'm pretty stationary to watch the All Star game, but I know Friday I never catch the celebrity game or the rookie sophomore game or the well USA versus the world game up until this
Uh-huh.
year.
Yeah.
Like I miss it every year. And then the All Star Saturday, I usually catch parts of it, and then I'm always doing somewhere I miss the rest of it. So this might be the first year in a while because I have no plans this weekend at all. Like I think this might be the first time in a while. Like I'm gonna really catch like all of the festivities that's going on.
Yeah, man. It's fun because it's like there's some times where like when you just look at okay, let's just look at the events for what they are. There's a skills competition, a three-point contest, and a dunk contest.
Hmm.
When you just look at them in a vacuum for what they are, it's like if you're a basketball fan, you're gonna enjoy those events. I think the fact that the dunk contest first and then the three-point contest next lost a lot of star power over the years. That's what turned the All-Star weekend into, All-Star Saturday night into something that's more or less like, if we catch it, we catch it. If we don't, we don't. We'll watch the highlights later on or social media, Sports Center, or whatever.
That's usually how I am too.
And I think that's what it became. And they've tried and tried and tried to bring things back and to make it more exciting. And the dunk contest used to be 8 guys, it's down to 4. And you still can't get like an upper echelon of 4 guys to participate in it. And now this year, we have Jalen Brown, which this is the first time I want to say since 2017. So the first time in like 7 years that they've had an active all-star be a slam dunk participant. It's been 8 years since we've had an active all-star participate in the slam dunk contest.
Hmm.
That just tells you the lack of star power that you've had in the dunk contest over those years. And it shows you how long it's been. And before that, I wonder how long it was or how often it was or what have you, or the percentage of all-stars that participated or the percentage of the participants that were all-stars that participated. But it just shows you like guys aren't interested. They don't really care about it. And the all-star game itself, They've tried to change the format of it, change the scoring format of it to try to make it more interesting and everything else, but it's still going to be a glorified pickup scrimmage exhibition game. Just bottom line, it is what it is. Until you start making it mean something and until you start offering something more for the winners of these All-Star Saturday challenges and whatnot.
Because Sunday they added in the charity stuff. So
Right.
whichever side wins that first half, then going into the second, third, and fourth quarter, like it's more charity work as far as like donating money and stuff like that. But like you said, even with Saturday, when was the last time we've had like in our opinion, the best dunkers in the league? Some of these guys, I didn't realize they were dunkers like that. Like Hamey, was it
Jacquez?
Hazy? Yeah. I didn't even know he dunks. Not like that to be in a dunk contest. I'm like, okay, I'm interested, but I didn't know that Kane was you.
I saw, I want to say he was on the break when he was at UCLA. And I want to say he caught a body like one or two hands maybe in the tournament. But not like you would think catch a body. It was more like let's say a guy who's been playing ball for a while, now plays at the local rec center, but he can still get up and dunk. It was one of
Right,
those kind of dunks.
right.
Mac McClung has been a highlight reel since
Whew, high
high
school.
school. And Jacob Toppin is
I don't know,
his little brother.
and that's pretty much all I know about him.
Yeah,
He's
pretty
Obi
much.
Toppin's little brother. So I'm interested because a lot of people were shocked by Mac last year. People that weren't familiar with Mac and
Yeah,
what he does. So
yeah,
this could also be the same thing where we're, you know, looking at them like, yeah, but they might be the ones that do some real work. So I'm interested to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I ain't doing nothing else. So
yeah. It's like, you know what I'm saying, man. Like, just it's gonna be something to do, something to watch, something to get into. So
excuse me.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be interested. Am I gonna be
If
just focused on it and paying attention? Probably not. I'll probably like catch it in passing and see what's going on and dip in and dip out, but that's probably gonna be about it.
I probably won't watch anything until the dunk contest.
I kind of started liking the skills competition, but what I don't like is all the time and all the fluff in between everything. Like between the rounds of the dunk contest, between the rounds of all the 3 point and the skill, like all that, I just that gets on my nerves. Um,
Agreed. I don't think has anything else in sports been crazy this last week.
the Mbappe news is kind of
Yeah, yeah. I'm off it until because he's focused right now. He's focused on PSG. He's focused on
yeah.
playing. He's not going to get traded. There's not going to be any movement until close to the end of the season anyway. As
Hmm.
far as like he may be courteous to let them know his decision, but we probably aren't going to hear anything until about like June, July-ish is when we'll start to see more. The transfer portal definitely has been really busy. Players moving around, teams
Hmm.
positioning themselves at the top of the fixtures in each league. So that's been fun to watch. Ivory Coast won AFCON, which is dope for them. Them and Nigeria put on a banger. Nigeria had been playing really well going up into that too. I've been plotting on a Nigeria soccer jersey that I want.
I remember you and Aham were talking about those jerseys, and one of y'all had sent it to the chat, and I was like, "Oh shit, that is kind of fly." Like,
Yeah, them Nigeria ones is dope. The Ivory Coast ones was crazy too. It makes me look at it now like, yo, I gotta get more jerseys of like outside countries, outside of the ones that I'm normally I'm normally watching and looking at. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think other than that, I don't think there's been too much else going on. We got Dre. Dre's actually in Virginia right now. For a PLL
The championship series.
playoff championship series. So,
I believe it's a
that's
championship
been
series, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me double check right quick.
yeah, that's been pretty dope. If you follow the Sucio Sports page, he tags us in a lot, so we're always reposting a lot of what um Dre hits us with, while also panning his page, and when he's dropping little videos and different things like that, we're definitely sending it to him with love. So
Yeah, definitely because the Dre Lags podcast, like it's so dope to see like how excited he gets about lacrosse and everything, and how he keeps us informed and up to date and whatnot on the sport of lacrosse. And just to be honest with you, like it's something that I kind of looked at and like, yeah, okay, whatever. But like the way he explains it, in the passion in which he explains it and how he talks about it and breaks it down and makes you understand what's going on. Like I can understand it on a level of which I understand like basketball, football, baseball, the major three sports that I grew up watching and playing and whatnot. And so it's been pretty dope to really get into stuff like that. And shout out again to all the sponsors on the network. First and foremost, Gel Blasters up in the corner there. Our sponsor. Please go and support them. ThinTech, their sports brand, supplements and whatnot. Bucked Up, their brand of supplements and gear and whatnot. We have 710 Labs, Sexual Chocolate, Dr. Dabber, Luck Bel Air Champagne, just all the different pods on the CDB network. We have Sucio Boys, Aim High, A Different Angle, and Trey Lax Podcast, 800 Soccer Sit Down, and of course Sucio Sports here. So just continue to support everybody on the network and whatnot.
we're growing, man. We're growing. We're doing amazing things. We're adding new sponsors every week to the network individually and overall. So it is it's been fun, man, just working with the fellas. Me and Jermaine had this vision, and it took us a while. We talked about it for a minute, and then we finally, said, "Fuck it, let's do it." And we're 20 episodes in with 20,000 more to go. So come along on this roller coaster ride and journey with us. You know what I mean? Episode 21, we might pop bottles or something, because we're legal now. Uh,
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's like it's been a journey, and I didn't even know like how far we could take this or how far we could go with it or whatever, or just like like sometimes you sit back and you think like, man, wow, like where have we gone? What are we doing? And like how far can we take this or whatever? And then you start seeing the results, and you start seeing people comment, participate, retweet, and you get a sponsor, and then you hear people say, you make other appearances or do other things. What are you doing? What you plug your podcast and this and that, and
Not just that, but even with what we've been doing with the African American sports players so far this month, having people like tell us like, "Hey, man, like I didn't know
yeah.
any of these people and what they did, or that they did these things," which is dope for us because that was the vision of doing it, was finding athletes that aren't the norm that you always hear about. Now there are a couple that we've thrown in there that Joe Lewis, who I posted
Mhm.
yesterday. There's a couple in there here or there where it's like, all right, we know who these people are, but the majority is like athletes that go unheard.
Yeah.
You don't hear their name too much. You don't hear their story or what they did or who they are. They're in the history books. It's archived. It's there, but nobody talks about them. So I definitely wanted to do my due diligence to bring them to light and give them the flowers that they deserve. Um, Not just this month, but this might be something we just keep doing, just in general, because I love it. Like I said, I've
Yeah.
learned so much about a lot of the athletes that Jermaine has posted, whereas I'm sure he's learned a lot about the athletes that I've posted also. So I think even after February, we may just keep this going. Maybe not on a daily, maybe random, when we find somebody, but it's definitely been dope for real. And the struggle of trying to find new people every day, which I know there's probably hundreds of thousands of athletes that we can pick from. So
Yeah. And it's like, it's just sometimes you sit back and you think and you wonder like what is it really like, what do we want to do and how do we want to present things and whatnot. And the thing that we came up with is like we wanted to present people that other people didn't really know about. If it was
mhm.
something somebody knew about, find a different angle or something that they may not have really known. um
Yep. It's
like
like with Jim Brown. A
I
lot
was
of
yeah, I
people
was just getting ready to say, with the
a
Jim
lot of
Brown
people
thing.
didn't know that he was a major lacrosse player in college. And had he not gone to play football, if lacrosse was more of a professional sport during that time, like as far as financially, he probably would have went that way instead of going football.
Oh yeah, easily, easily.
Like
And
he's in the record books and history books for lacrosse also, not just the football Hall of Fame. He's in the lacrosse Hall of Fame also.
it's really crazy because like I don't think people really knew that about him, but also I don't think that they really expected to like find that out about him either. Because like there are certain things where you may be like, oh well, if we told you he was an actor or he did it, well yeah, well I know Jim Brown was in some movies or something like that. But when you say, hey, he played lacrosse and he was like one of the best lacrosse players ever, but he just never took it any further than playing in college, and it's like, oh wow, like I didn't know that. Just some of the athletes and things that we find sometimes it's we put a lot of work and a lot of research and a lot of effort in that to kind of highlight those kind of things because we feel like it's important. The same way we try to make sure that we highlight and speak about women's sports and also some sports that you may not necessarily know or talk about, like lacrosse or soccer or what have you. So it's just an effort for us to try to stick out a little bit, do something a little bit different from what you're used to hearing, what you're used to seeing, and whatnot. We're not just gonna sit here and argue all day, and we're not just gonna sit here and kumbaya and agree all day. You're not gonna get the same old recycled stuff that you hear and see from everyone else. So it's just it is what it is, and we're trying to keep up and stick out and do good things and do good work and whatnot, and provide a good content for everybody out there. So we hope that y'all stick with us on this journey. We got a lot more to come. Um, Keyz, I don't really have a rant this week. Do you have something?
Oh man, did I have one? I feel like I had one. I had one, but I don't even know if I got the energy for that shit. I might save it for next week. I feel like it might ramp up. Yeah, I'm gonna save it for next week. I ain't even got one this week. I'm gonna cut it short because it's Valentine's Day, man. Lovers and friends and lovers till the end. You know.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, we said we're gonna keep it short this week, though. Like I said, because it's Valentine's Day, we ain't want to hit y'all with nothing crazy. We know y'all are at this hour probably not even watching us anymore. Hopefully we are not Netflix and chilling or whatever, and we're not playing in the background while y'all are Valentine Day and
Valentine.
yeah, weirdos. But yeah, man, this been episode 19. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Seriously though, um, go and make a what is this? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. What's November? Sagittarius and something else.
No, I believe it's Scorpio. I'm pretty sure it's Scorpio. because
Scorpio and
somebody
Sagittarius.
earlier
That's what it
about
is.
making Scorpios tonight. I'm almost certain it's
Oh,
Scorpio.
hey, man, go make you a couple Scorpios and go make you some Scorpios and turn up, you know?
Nah. About to roll over, take a shower.
Hey, my pillow is calling.
Yes, sir. But for my brother Keyz, for the sponsors at Gel Blaster and everybody else, all the other pods on the CDB network. It's Keyz, it's Jermaine. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on episode 20 of Sucio Sportz. We'll see y'all next week for episode 21. Later.